All right, today we are talking all things marketing. Marketing, I find marketing is just going in such a crazy different direction, and we can easily say marketing is marketing. It is what it is, it always will be what it is, but the way that we approach things just seems so different. And I wanted to bring on my dear friend, Mark Harbert, to have this conversation with because he is a marketing madman. He's amazing. And he's been in this industry for so long, and I know him and I have seen the changes go through social media when you're building a business online. And so we just wanted to have a real conversation about the perceptions, what we're seeing happen, and how you can really utilize what's going on to your best benefit. So welcome, Mark Harbert.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jen. And yes, you are a dear friend, and we've had so many great conversations over the years, at events and stuff. And it's been a little while since we've, had events, but starting to get back into it, and we'll connect one here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be awesome to do that. And so let's just talk about it, Mark. I was thinking about how this conversation was going to go today. And, just kind of, I think something that kind of hit me recently as, taking a detox from social media, then getting sick and coming back into this. And with the way that marketing is going and all the new tools that we can utilize to market, what are some of the biggest changes that you're really seeing? Because like I said, how long have you been at this now?
I got started online marketing in late, fourth quarter 2008. So
yeah, okay. So you've been at this. I started 2014. So you've seen a lot of changes. I mean, you were at the birth of Facebook. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you've seen all of these new platforms and methods and strategies come to play. What do you see? How can really people start utilizing this to their best advantage with the way that, with everybody coming online at this point?
So, what's interesting is I've always taken an approach, and I think this is what's allowed me to stick around so long, is there is tons of new things. I mean, I could sit here probably for an hour and tell you of all the different, you got Instagram Reels, TikTok, stories, you name it. You could go through and name all these different, avenues that people are using to build their business. And they're all great. They're all great. They're all awesome. And I recommend people find one that works for them and their style and who they are and roll with it. But for me, it has always come down to one thing and one thing only. How do I get people on an email list? Mm-hmm. And I have put that focus on everything. I love watching TikTok videos. They're hilarious. They're funny. I've learned so many ridiculous hacks on TikTok. But for me, that is not a marketing medium I want to use. You know what I mean? For another person, it might be. But my question is if I was to use TikTok, how could I really put the focus on building my list? And I just, for me, there's not the targeting capabilities that I would like in order to be able to reach my target audience. So I put my focus in where can I reach my audience? I'm focused on where is my audience, not necessarily all of the mediums. You see what I mean? So all of the strategies, the peripherals are the TikTok, the Reels, Instagram, IGTV. You got all these different, different ways to do it. So I just focus on where's my audience, where can I find them, and how do I get them on my email list, and how do I provide value to them and then make offers to them. Yeah. And that is what I have focused on for forever. And it just has served me well. And I mean, I'm kind of one of those guys, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And email is just proven to me over and over and over. And, more and more texting, text messaging, is also a great way to, number one, an asset. I communicate with people. So that's the way I approach it. And although there's so many new things out there, it's like, I'm kind of one of those old codgers, like, just build the email list,
Yeah.
just build it and start learning how to email to people. And I'll tell you, I'm going to keep preaching that till the day email dies, and it has not. So,
Yeah.
so I
And
mean,
I see your text messages. I get those,
yeah,
and I think that's brilliant. And I'm also a big proponent of, growing an email list. I think that's very important. Do you find
yeah,
that in today's age, people are just so much more aware, especially
yeah,
our target audience, who they are marketers. We're
yeah,
teaching people how to build a business, so they're understanding
right.
marketing. Do you find that it's getting more challenging to engage people to opt in to your
Mhm.
email list, because it's like, oh, here's another freebie, or here's another this, or here's another,
Yeah.
and it's almost becoming like people just have this email list, this email that they use for
Yeah.
all those things that just kind of flood their
Right.
inbox,
Right.
and becoming.
There's no doubt. I mean, people's email inboxes are more than ever, so there's no question about that. People are getting more and more emails than I've ever gotten. I probably get 200 or 300 a day myself, and sifting through that. But I think the key to really engaging is, number one, just being genuine, not always pitching. A lot of emails that I see, there's times where, uh, you know, I'm on lists of all kinds of people. And there's sometimes I'll get an email out of the blue from somebody. It's like, I haven't seen an email from you in like 6 months.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're pitching something, and it's kind of like, I kind of tend to look at the way I treat my list. This is the best way that I've ever heard anybody explain how some people treat their email list. Okay.
Do it.
And it was the best explanation I've ever heard. A little bit crude, but it's so true. They're like, and it was Yara Golden, and she was at Funnel Hacking Live, and she said, some people treat their list like a late night booty call. And I said, holy cow. Like, this so true. Like, you got this list, you never email it any value, and then all of a sudden you got something to promote, so you start hitting it like crazy, And I mean, it's kind of a crude example, but that's exactly what people are doing. And I don't treat my list like that. Like, to me, it's like, I want to send out like a bunch of value, that helps to nurture the goodwill, and then I'll throw in offers here and there. And so for me, I believe that that's what's really helped me to stay in the game long enough, because yes, I want to make money, but yes, I also want people that if they decide not to buy something from me, they still have a good feeling about, hey, this Mark guy is pretty cool though. I've learned some things from him. I've had people that have been on my list for years, never bought anything, and then out of the blue said, I'm finally ready to buy something.
Yeah.
I
think that's a good point. And one thing that I've learned too, especially for people in the network marketing or affiliate marketing, and even myself, like when I talk about things that I don't sell, especially in stories, like I can talk about this timer cube, or I have like a coffee warmer that sits on my desk to sit my coffee on, and it warms it for me. And those are the things where people are like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that? That's so awesome.
Right.
And the power behind that is like, you're not selling it, but you're always suggesting and recommending things, so people want to come to you for more. So when you do have something you're selling or you offer, it's conditioned that you have awesome stuff that you suggest and recommend. Is that
oh, absolutely, 100%. And I think that's true too. And especially as you start to build an audience, even with email or however you do it. But to me, it's about being genuine too. Like, not just being genuine to the point like you're faking being genuine so you can get the sale, but like really having the best interest of your audience at heart. Like, I don't ever promote anything that I think is crap. Like I believe me, I get hit up with so many things. It's nauseating every week how many times people want me to promote stuff, and which just, I'm flattered that people want me to promote, but there's just not a fit for my audience, and I'm not going to promote something that is not a good fit for them. and going to take them off of what I teach and things like that. So I'm just very careful about what I promote, who I promote, and how I promote it, because I know that that's what's helped me to stay in the game long term, is because I care about my reputation, and I've spent years building my reputation. And, it could be just one little thing that you promote that could leave a bad taste in people's mouths. So I'm just very careful about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's helped me over the long run.
Yeah, it's true. You always want to realize whatever you're putting your name on, you're putting your name on it. It's your brand. It's your word. So you want to tread that cautiously, for sure. And, in terms of like where your audience is, I mean, at this point, it seems like everybody is everywhere, because there's this perception that, well, these big leaders, these big marketers are everywhere, so I guess I should be everywhere too. Yeah. So wherever, your audience is, it's probably safe to say at this point, like whatever platform you pick, you're going to find a portion of your audience there. But here was a huge revelation for me. I find, and I love your opinion on this, I find Reels and TikTok, they're fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do it. It's I'm a performer. It's what I up my alley. I mean,
by the way, you have some freaking hilarious ones. Like,
thank you.
The ones with you and Sherry lately have just been off the chart hilarious. Like,
yeah, those are fun. And I did one with Lisa yesterday. Like, they're really fun. And so, but what I find is that I don't find, unless you're actually doing a value piece of like, let me give you 3 tips, or here's one hack you can do. The entertaining ones are really just entertaining. Like, I don't get a lot of value from them. And it's almost like entertainment is being put above value.
Yeah. So it's a great point, and I think if there's a way that you can marry the both, I don't do a lot of entertainment videos. I just don't. Like, I'm more focused on like really going after, value-based videos, giving people tips. However, one of the things that I am seeing, and I think this is very important, is to try and say more in less time. Obviously people's attention spans are getting very, we're in a TikTok generation, like, so I'm starting to see, and I've really, especially lately, been really evaluating a lot of, kind of big influencers and stuff. And I'm finding some of the people that have big influences are doing videos that are like 3 minutes or less, and they're just pumping in the value, giving them good stuff. Because I know, and this has not changed since I've come online. Every time I see a video, like, I immediately look at how long the video is. Like, unconsciously, I look at it and I make a decision right then and there. Am I going to watch this whole thing?
Yeah. And it's interesting because with YouTube, you want to have those longer videos for the watch time and for the all that stuff. But at the same time, there's people like I'm a huge I listen to Kyle Cease like every day. Like, I love Kyle, and I don't care how long his videos are. I'm just going to turn it on, and maybe I get halfway through it and I'll finish it later. So you do have those fans that will just binge everything, no matter how much, how long it is, or, what you're saying or doing. But I do believe that there is a time and place for it. And how can you, I'm a words person. I'm a songwriter. So like, I used to write really long emails, and I love writing long posts. And it's like, you got to remember that people I myself am not reading that stuff. So it's like,
you're not reading the long emails.
Learn to land your message and keep it simple and almost just to the point where it really truly feels like you're only messaging that person, like as just chill. And sometimes I find I'll write an email and be like, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing. Like, fill me in, what's new. And it's like, that really is like a personal message, not copy.
And and this is like, and I've taught this regarding email, is that email is traditionally looked at as a one-way communication. It's like, you send an email out, people respond to it or they don't. I, on the other hand, for many years have treated my list more like a two-way communication. Now, there are times where I'll send an email out and it's just a one-way communication, notifying them of something. But on the other side, like I just sent out an email yesterday to a segment of my list that is unengaged, about 12,000 people. Okay. And once a month, I'll send out an email to the segment of people who have unengaged. Like they have not been opening my emails, in, at least 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I sent out this email yesterday, no link in it. And it was basically just like, hey, I was going through my computer and I came across some slides of a presentation I did like 6-7 months ago. And it was called the 6-Figure DMO. And I said, it really focuses on 5 areas that can help you every day. If you want access, if you want these, I'll give them to you. Just reply back to this email.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been getting emails all since yesterday. So I've successfully re-engaged like over 300 people out of that 1,200, that 12,000, And so every month I'm sending it out because there's people still on there, but they're just looking for a reason to engage, and when you give something of value to them with just like a no strings attached. And then when I email them back, I'm like, awesome. It's great. I hope things are going well with you. And here you go. And it's just like, I'm not looking for anything other than just to create some goodwill,
Yeah. Anything where you can help them or where they can help you. I mean, I recently sent out an email where I'm like, hey, testing like this. This is a new email address. I got a big girl email. I'm not using Gmail anymore. And so I'm like, I just want to make sure you guys can see this and it's working. And they're like, yep, I see you loud and clear. Like they want to help and respond and be a part of giving you their feedback, which is also another good way to do that.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the biggest thing that I think most people, I would say everybody is really finding challenging is captivating your audience, engaging your audience, seeing growth of your audience. I think across the board, engagement's down, people getting connected and commenting and in conversation within your posts, is down for even big leaders. I look at like they have 500,000 followers and maybe 5,000 are engaged, maybe around that. So what are you noticing that, it's more challenging to get attention at this point on value, and what it is that you're doing, and how are you combating that to keep in line with your goals and your numbers and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, people are more distracted than ever today. And I think it's only going to get worse, to be honest with you. And the more and more people are, with social media, I just keep doing my thing. Like again, it's like, I'm trying to give value, share little tips, tricks, strategies here and there, things that work for people. And, people will, I just find that still helps, and I think honestly, there's little tricks that you can do, especially from copywriting standpoints, to grab people's attention. Some people will do like a live video and they just have a really crappy, like, little headline that doesn't really describe what they're talking about, and it really is like, you do need to learn a little bit of ways to capture people's attention and create curiosity. That's kind of a given. But I just kind of focus on what I'm doing, but I do know this, that, especially with places like Facebook and Instagram and things like that, engagement's going to continue to go down. And this is why I constantly preach about learning ads at some point, like learning how to just do some basic ads to increase your reach, and be willing to invest a little bit of money into your business where you're, the simplest type of ad you could ever do is an engagement ad. It's like the simplest, where, if you've got like, let's just say, a Facebook page, a business page, and you put out a post where you just write out a post like you normally would. And And you can run an engagement ad to that, targeting the people who have liked your page.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how much engagement you'll get just spending $5 or $10, to that, because Facebook will now extend your reach out. So reach is going to always go down from an organic standpoint. There'll always be some type of organic reach, but what's interesting is that if you're willing to put a little into ads, one of the things that you can do is you can, when you run an engagement ad, when people engage with it, it also helps your overall engagement, because it starts to, the way the algorithm works is like, so you're adding a little money in there to kind of prime the engagement, so more people see it. So, it's interesting how it works. When you kind of learn the algorithm a little bit, it's like when I do a live, I've learned over the years, like before I go live, I should go on and comment on a few posts, like a few posts, before I get ready to go. Cause it kind of primes the algorithm to say, hey, it kind of it wakes it up a little bit. And then I've noticed that I'll get more people on my live.
Yeah.
Than not. If I just don't do anything,
I think, and that's really where my head has been. I kind of take it back to Jesus. It's like, okay, Jesus really did chase people down, and we're in this mindset of like, don't chase people down and like just post and let them come to you.
Yeah.
And that attraction marketing, it's not the same as it used to be. And so getting in with people and getting back to intimate conversation, getting into and understanding the algorithm isn't about you engaging. It's about how are you getting people to engage with you? Because by you just engaging with people, that's just telling whatever platform, oh, you want to see more of their stuff. How are you getting their algorithm to see more of your stuff? By engaging and actually showing up. And, I'm at the point where I'm like, I think I'm just going to really spend a good amount of time just getting in with people. And I think of it as like activating them. Like you want to activate them back to, then the attraction marketing works. So if you do make a post, like people are going to actually see that because they've requested to.
Well, and I love automation. Like I love everything about it. Like I love the leverage I get from automation, but there's a way that you can automate and find the best people to engage with you. Like for instance, I want to build my email list. So one of the things that you can do is you could set up even a series of emails that are all centered around just bringing people back to your communication centers. Yeah. Like, you could send out an email to a new subscriber that comes on, and within the first, 1 to 3 days, whatever, you could have a link that goes right into Messenger. You could say, hey, I'd love to connect with you. Come over and say hi. You tell me a little bit about yourself and whatever. You'd be surprised. A lot of people will come over and say hi and connect. And what happens is you're now getting these people reaching out to you, and because you've initiated the connection, right? So there's so many ways that you can automate things, and I love automation, but I love it when people come to me and talk, but it's a matter of really just kind of doing it in a way that gets people to do it, because the best people are the ones that kind of take the action toward you, and those are the ones that tend to do that. But it's all about people want to connect with people. Like some people say they don't, but they really do. Yeah. We all crave that connection with humans.
Yeah. It's just being inviting enough to do that.
Yeah. And inviting. Exactly.
And a part of me thinks, based off of the, I think Sherry, one of our TikToks that we did has over 700,000 views. Yeah. And it's her climbing through my sunroof. I'm just like, and then like the other night I do this profound video full of value and insight. And it's like, okay, that did not get 700,000 views. So there's, it's almost like you want to be relatable. And I think there's a way to leverage the humor and the entertainment to attract people that would relate to that part of your personality, but then you want to still deliver.
Right.
That value.
And there's, the thing is too, and this is where, the entertainment side of things is awesome. And I get a lot of fun out of watching TikTok videos, just stupid videos that go totally viral. Like there's this one, maybe you've seen her, and it's this daughter and she's always recording her mom. And, I forget what the name, her name is Karaoke, that's her name. And she's always recording her mom, and her mom's like, she's in her, like her 70s or whatever. And her mom always gets annoyed with the fact that she's got the phone on her, and they got this massive following, but it's like, I get entertainment value from that.
Yeah.
But, how many people see those videos that really, if you're trying to build a business, there's maybe a very minute fraction of those people that might be in your niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can be very deceiving in a way when we look at the metrics, of like a big email list or a lot of views or a lot of subscribers or a lot of followers, because, I see people out there that have, like you said, massive amounts of followers and hardly anybody's engaging with them, so it looks good, looks sexy, but it's like
kind of those two schools of thought now where it's like, for me, I'm like, I'd rather grow slower and make sure it's like my audience. But then there's other people who are like, just go out there and get viral. And some of those people will like what you have to offer. And so I think it's just picking your style and what you think suits you best. I would find it rather frustrating to have, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube that don't really want anything to do with what I talk about. But everybody gets to pick their poison and kind of run with the thing that works for them. And I think that's the biggest thing is understanding there's no exact way. Business isn't linear when it comes to marketing, and you get to choose the methods and the strategies. And hopefully hearing this today, you guys have gotten some ideas on what we find is really valuable and important. And I thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I think that it really comes down to like just sticking to the fundamentals, sticking to the fundamentals. Like I said in the beginning, I'm pretty boring when it comes to like exciting new stuff. Like the other day I was thinking, maybe I'm not exciting enough sometimes, but I guess it's like, I just like when I see something that works, like I just keep working it, and email is kind of that boring thing. Like it's not new and exciting like Reels, and it's not new and exciting like a TikTok, something, but it's like, even, I see these multi-million-dollar companies who, I've seen them talk about how like the greatest return on all of their marketing is email. Like it's like 30-1.
Yeah.
Look
at top marketers, Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, you don't see them on TikTok. You don't see them really shifting. They're podcasting, they're YouTubing, they're sticking to that pillar of content and sticking to their guns. And, they've established what works for them, I think is important. And that's a good point that you mentioned, that you just stick to it, because a lot of times what happens is I see people will try something once and think, oh, that doesn't work. But I mean, for me, I love doing challenges. I'm getting ready to do another one. And this is like the third or fourth time I've done it. So it's going to be the one that I continually do. Because there's so much. I mean, if you do a webinar, it takes, I know people who they tweak that same webinar for a year to get it really where they want it. And so there's that balance of like doing the same thing without results is insanity.
Right.
But then there's the balance of you got to do it enough to give it some gas,
Right. Give it time to prime, and so yeah, there always is that, and that's one of the things, when I'm working with clients too, especially when it comes to start building the email list, I'll help them to set up a very basic funnel. But then it's a process. Like we need to start getting some people in there, and then we can start. I had a client who I got him on doing Facebook ads, and he was spending like $10 a day getting 30 to 40 leads every day with his niche, and but the way we had it set up was where people would, set up an appointment with him, through an appointment, and he wasn't getting a lot of appointments. And so then we kind of looked at like what he was doing, and we said, okay, so let's change this up, because the message of the appointment is kind of out of line with what they're opting in for. So let's try to streamline that more so the message is more congruent and consistent. And we change that up, and lo and behold, we start getting more appointments. Okay. And then we figured out that, well, only 50% of the people that are setting appointments are showing up. So it's like, well, let's do this. Let's add in a little tick box that, is them committing. Yes, I promise, I respect your time, and I will show up to the call. So we saw an uptick on people start showing up, and then we added text reminders in there, and we started realizing that was helping, so it is, but that's a period that was over a course of about 5 to 6 months of tweaking and making it better,
because you don't know what works until you
right.
And it's the idea of like sticking to that thing, but then how do you make that thing convert? How do you make that thing better? It's not so much about changing the strategy, I think, which is a testament to you just sticking to email.
Yeah, I'm pretty stubborn too, like I don't like to like stop until I figure something out, and I'm kind of like that. And I don't know where I got that. Maybe from my dad. My dad was a little stubborn too.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, being stubborn is good. And I think that in that way, it's a good thing,
Absolutely.
So, but, I think that's the easiest thing. First off, find the medium that you want to build on and, move people in that direction. But I would always focus on building an email list. It's always going to come back to that. I'll preach it till the day I die. A week or two ago, Facebook went down and the whole world freaked out.
Yep.
I know huge leaders out there in the marketplace that have huge Instagram followings, and they're making 7 figures off Instagram followings. And then this very same person, I remember watching a video of them, and they were like talking about their whole marketing strategy. And they were like, I've got an email list. I don't email it enough. And my focus in 2021 is to be more active on my email. I'm like, dude, like you're sitting on this email list, and like the majority of her money is being made off social media. And I'm thinking, that is a business built on a seriously sandy foundation.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm just like, that is one of those things that you really want to focus on is the email list. So I'm big about that. I'll preach it constantly. And that's where I'm at with that. So
love it. Yeah. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for giving us some insight. And it's good to have a dialogue about it.
Yeah.
Where can the humans watching this video find you?
Just go over to my blog, markharbert.com. That's about it.
No blogging.
Yeah. Just head on over there. You can see I've got links to all my social profiles and stuff there. So people want to find me, they'll find me. But
yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting, friend. I appreciate you. Love what you're up to. You always put a smile on my face when you post your funny stuff, and you are funny. Don't think that you're not funny.
Yeah, I know. I like to be a little goofy sometimes. I like to poke at certain things too, Every once in a while I'll post something a little controversial just to wake people up,
Yeah, there you go.
And then I find what's funny is if you post something a little controversial, you'll get the people that never ever like or comment on any of your posts, and then you know who you need to unfriend. Like, you never comment on anything. You don't comment when I congratulate my daughter on something, only when you don't like it, and it's like, whatever. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good strategy there. Good bonus tip.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on this channel. God bless, keep the faith, impact the world, and we'll talk to you soon.